Yo, wasn't gonna make this video initially, but I figure I'd throw it in there what I'm doing with the LQ9 that's going in the OBS. No shirt, it's hot. I'll do my best to keep it here up so your wife don't email me or anything. Or husband, whichever. The LQ9, I spent the past 2 days trying to get the cam out. Absolute pain. Surprisingly, with all the LS engines I've been around and had, this is actually the first cam swap I've ever done and first head swap on anything. Glad we got to it because this engine sat outside for a year under a carport. I already vacuumed some stuff, but I'm just gonna go through it with y'all and kind of quickly go through the steps. There's a million videos on how to do this stuff, but I'm gonna throw it in there also for legal reasons, showing that I actually did this work. But yeah, let's go. So we obviously got all the heads off. It didn't look too bad. Just used, it's hard to see with the lighting, but they're not as black as they're looking in the video. But yeah, it's LQ9. A way to tell an LQ9 from an LQ4 is your LQ4 has dish and your LQ9 has flat. Just like your 5.3s and your 4.8s, your 4.8 has flat tops, your 5.3 has dish. These LQ9s, they came in the early 2000s Silverado SS's and some certain GMC Denali's. But not all GMC Denali's came with 6.0s like a lot of people assume. Most of them came with 5.3s, but some, they're very rare to find actually. LQ9s are pretty rare to come across. If somebody tells you they're not, then I want to know where they're finding them because they're very hard to find. LQ4s are the most common ones out of your 99 to 06, early 07 GMC Chevy 2500 HDs or 2500s. But yeah, this LQ9, this is factory rated at 345. So with that cam, if you guys looked it up, that cam's easily going to push this over 400 to the crank after it's tuned good. Tuned correctly, I guess you would say, whichever. But yeah, these cylinder walls, it's got ring ridge from sitting, but I mean, these are insanely smooth all the way around on every cylinder. I mean, most people clean up the carbon off of these. I probably will, since just because that and it's a customer's, but it's kind of pointless because once your engine's running, it just builds that carbon right back up. So I guess that's a dealer's choice if you want to take the time to do that. Yeah, this one looks like it had something just sitting in it, probably a dirt dauber's nest, something. But it's not bad. Just kind of clean these off. See, this is where the ring ridge kind of has built up on the piston, and so it kind of gives you some varnish up here, but I mean, it literally just wipes off with my finger, so it's definitely not bad at all. It's crazy how good a shape. So the guy told him that this was like 89,000 original miles, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you say, buddy. Because I mean, you're 99 to 06, 5.3, 4.8, 6.0s. Think of how long ago those came out. I mean, they were definitely, most of them are definitely over 200,000 miles. Just about everybody's selling them. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's got 120,000 or 140 or 150 or 100. They never go past 180 for some reason. It's like 120 to 180 is the everything you see on the sale post for sale posts. And I'm like, just add 50,000 to it or 100,000 to it, and that's the actual mileage. But no, this one looks really well. Even the lifters. And I just gave y'all a close up of my ugly face. Even the lifters, if it'll focus, I mean, those are practically new. And then let me show you the cam. So I'd already put the oil pump on, which requires pulling the pan. If you're just doing a cam swap, you just take the cam gear. That's the cam gear. That's the plate that goes right here behind the cam gear. I also, for cam swaps without taking the heads off, I'm sure you might have seen it, and for you guys that aren't new to this, you know all about this, but these dowels, got them from Home Depot, you get a 5/16, and you shove them through that hole all the way back, and that hole all the way back. I saw a YouTube video, the guy says it's like 20 inches. So you just mark that, stick that dowel all the way back and kind of mark it, and then you know when your dowel is all the way back when you use it again. These are water pump bolts. You just put them in. Now yesterday and the day before, this cam wouldn't even budge unless I pried it. So with how long it was sitting, I'm sure it was stuck on a couple lifters on the way through, but now it's smooth as butter. This is how it should move. If it doesn't move like this when you're trying to just do a cam swap with the heads on it, as far as I can tell you, you're gonna have to pull the heads and get those lifters out. I don't see any other option. I mean, I exhausted 2 days trying, and today I finally said F it and did. I mean, I was doing this anyways, but you see what I'm saying. But that's that stock milling oil pump. That's the new timing chain. That's the new timing chain gear. But yeah, you just, and then just pull it right on out, and that's basically it. I'm gonna do the cam swap. I'm gonna clean the heads and stuff, clean all this stuff off. On both heads. I'm not painting the block or anything. At least he didn't ask me to. And it's kind of pointless to paint the block unless you're painting it a bright color, because you really, once the engine is in there and the headers are on, the accessories are on, you really don't see the block unless you paint it orange or something bright. But I'm gonna clean all this up, get it mostly back together, hit it with some Ugga-Duggas. I'm just kidding. I'll torque it, I guess. We'll see. And then I'll come back and you'll see me just pop up. I'll probably be a lot dirtier, a lot sweatier. Maybe I'll have a shirt on, so that your wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever your pronouns are doesn't email me. And then that'll be that. And then finally, I'll get to actually doing the truck tomorrow or the next day, as far as either the fuel system or pulling the engine transmission. But I'll see y'all in a couple hours, or for you, a split second. Right, I'm back real quick. I got the heads cleaned up to an extent, not perfect. I got the pistons cleaned up, not perfect also, but cleaned up. That's all I'm gonna show you guys a couple things. Just showing you the heads. Did I say pistons? I don't know. Got the pistons done, got the cam swapped. Go over some things, but let me show you. So I didn't clean them all the way up. Obviously, you don't want to. I know they look scratched, but they're not. But that's why I didn't want to just keep going, because you don't want to. Supposedly, what I heard years ago is there's like a heat coating on these. I'm not 100% sure, but I at least got it down to where you could see the factory markings on them, and then obviously just cleaned up all this stuff. I mean, it's a 4-inch, 6.0s are 4-inch bore, and what I used is 4 inches wide too. So I just lightly came in here right on the ring ridge and kind of smoothed it out some. You don't want to sit there and just have it go, because that's not what that is for. This I used like this. It's kind of like a hardish plastic. You obviously don't want to use a wire brush or anything, because then you'll actually take aluminum off, or not aluminum, but you'll actually shave stuff off. You know what I'm saying? I got the lifters in. I just wanted to show you this side before I put the head on. We actually got the wrong bolts. I don't know what Summit sent, but those ain't right. You can reuse the old bolts. I mean, it's been done a million times. Of course, with the new generation LS swap people, it's, oh, never reuse, you're not supposed to, oh, never do that, blah, blah. You go watch enough YouTube videos, there's plenty of people that reuse old bolts. You go to Sloppy Mechanics, and everybody reuses the old bolts and the head gaskets. So, dealer's choice. You're taking your chances more, obviously, on used bolts, because they're torque to yield, so they stretch. So there's a chance they might not tighten all the way, but I haven't come across anybody complaining about that when they do that, but that's just me. We might end up he actually just texted me and asked me about reusing these old bolts. I probably will, just because they're already here. With him, because I can't warranty stuff, it's 50-50. So I'll talk to him about that and see what we decide. But let me show you something with the cam too. So I got the new cam in. There's the old one, which actually, that wasn't in bad shape. That was actually in pretty decent shape. But you gotta line up, when you put this all back together, you gotta make sure you line up that dot, and there's a dot right there. You wanna line them up. That's obviously, it doesn't look like it's perfectly aligned, which is okay. You just, from what I was told by an engine builder buddy, is you just don't want it off like a tooth or more. So that slight bit off is perfectly fine. I know for a fact it's at TDC because I had the head off. So I know that was TDC. Cylinder 1's right there. I know that was TDC, so I know the sprocket is at TDC. And then you just line that dot up. For the cam swap, I use this assembly lube. I don't know if I put enough now that I'm looking at the bottle. I know I put a lot though. I might pop that off and throw some more on there, because you can see the cam. You can see the cam through the top when that cover is off. This aftermarket timing chain, it's not much different than the factory one. I mean, these Gen 3s, they don't have a little clip right here that keeps tension, so they kind of hang and are loose. But they say replace this while you're in here, so that's what we did. That's obviously that new oil pump. But yeah, I had actually behind this, the cover behind this, I had actually broke a bolt. Where'd it go? Oh. I broke a bolt off, and I actually had to do what you do when you get the broken bolts out of the manifold bolt holes. Had to weld a nut on it and get it out. Yeah, that's about it. I'm sure after this video I'll remember something, but for now that's all I can think of. So we're gonna talk about you reusing those bolts, which, since I can't warranty the work, I'm not a shop or anything, I'll probably just get them to go ahead and order some new bolts, so that in case something does happen, it can't be blamed on the old bolts, if that makes sense. But your own vehicle, if you want to reuse the old bolts, technically you can, since it's your vehicle. Customer or somebody that's paying, or I'm helping somebody or whatever, if it's not mine, I probably prefer using new bolts. So that's, now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably what we're gonna do. yeah, that's it for this series, this video, whatever we call it. I'll see y'all next time I see y'all. Engine will probably be like this, but I may have pulled the engine transmission of this. I don't know. I take it day by day and just go from there. But hope these tips help y'all. Have a good one. Oh, real quick. Psych, I'm back. If you want to follow me on Instagram and message me about LS stuff and LS swaps, I'm in Temple, Texas. So most likely I'm way far away from you. But you have questions about, maybe getting one done by me. And also just to follow the CUDA, my personal Instagram is Krusty CUDA. I'll put it down in the description, but it's KRUSTY, no space, CUDA. And yeah, you can follow along with the car stuff I try to post. I'm not real big on social media, but now that I'm doing these videos, I try to post some stuff. Yeah, so you won't see me just pop up again. Have a good one.